Insurance is a way to manage risks in life, business, and other endeavors. It is an age-long practice that seeks cautioning for losses in businesses or to pay one's choice dependent in case demise. One key aspect of insurance is the payment of receivable as an award due to the customers by the insurance company. This would no doubt build the confidence of persons in patronizing insurance services. Hello and thanks for joining us today on TV and Business Daily. I am Chiwendu Osisiago. Our guest today shall be evaluating the practice of insurance in Nigerian recent history. First, let's look at what is happening in the business world.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter at Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business. I mean, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
The International Monetary Fund has said Nigeria's major fiscal challenge is its very low revenue and not so much of its debt profile. The low revenue, he explained, had led to low debt servicing capacity and limited funding for critical sectors such as education, health, and social welfare. The IMF said it considered Nigeria's public debt stock coverage at 29% of its gross domestic product as of the end of 2019 when compared to a margin in developing markets average, which is about 53% of GDP. IMF Mission Chief and Senior Resident Representative for Nigeria, Yesmi Rahman, said this on Tuesday at the webinar hosted by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Fiscal Policy Roundtable and Tax Investment and Competitiveness Policy Commission. She, however, advised that Nigeria needed to make sure its risk perception goes down so that borrowing costs could be low. The federal government plans to review the prices of gas consumed across the country. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Perisiva, said the move would help deepen the use of liquefied petroleum gas, popularly called cooking gas, as well as compressed natural gas. However, the federal government targets to move motorists from the use of petrol to the use of CNG in their respective vehicles. Siva, according to a statement from his ministry on Tuesday, said the government would continue to push for the use of gas for cooking and automobiles. It disclosed the plan of government to review the country's domestic gas pricing framework at the inauguration of a committee that would focus on gas sector review in Nigeria. The Senate on Tuesday said the crisis in the nation's power sector was due to the lack of adequate coordination among the operators in the value chains. The chairman Senate Committee on Power, Gabriel Suman, stated this at the end of a 3-day investigative hearing on the power sector recovery plan in Abuja. Suwan said that the nation's bid to achieve stable electricity supply could be a mirage if the firm responsible for power generation, distribution, and transmission continue to indulge in the current blame game among them. Stakeholders in the sector, particularly the management of generation companies, distribution companies, and transmission companies of Nigeria, had presented contradictory positions on the poor state of power in the country. Consumer income levels have fallen by 30% in Nigeria since March due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy. This was disclosed in a recent survey conducted by Rich Technologies, a Nigerian-based fintech, on behalf of FBN Quest. The survey corroborated findings by the National Bureau of Statistics that the Nigerian consumer had fallen on harder times. Respondents were quoted as saying that they had reduced spending on higher value category items by about 22% since March. The survey showed that the market had responded sharply to the challenges by marking some companies down. And that's the business news on Television Nigerian. I'm Chiwendu Osisiago. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter at Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all the social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
Thanks for joining us again, and if you're just joining us, it's TVL Business Daily. Like I stated earlier, we shall be discussing an evaluation of insurance practice in Nigeria. My guest is a lawyer and also a public analyst, Mr. Felix Edache. You're welcome to TVL Business.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you once more.
My pleasure.
Okay, in your opinion, how is the insurance sector fared in Nigeria?
Well, for start, what is insurance? Insurance is an arrangement where a company agrees to make do a loss occasioned by certain risk upon payment of premium by the holder. And in Nigeria, if I look at the history of the insurance industry in Nigeria to date, I can say the industry has done fairly well in Nigeria. At independence, we had only 4 indigenous insurance companies. And by the report of the J.C. Obande Commission of Inquiry into this, certain recommendations were made, and that commission, the report of that commission, led to the establishment of Insurance Company Act and in 1961. And from then on, many other laws came in until we got to where we are today by the establishment of NICOM, the National Insurance Commission, which is a major break in the insurance industry. And with that, we have had series of innovative reforms by NICOM, which has really helped in building up the industry. By and large, I would say the industry has done fairly well in Nigeria, but there is still much more
that should be done.
That should be done.
So with this whole COVID-19 pandemic, has it really affected this industry, insurance industry?
Well, of course, whatever affects citizens definitely affect business, and insurance industry cannot be an exception. Remember, insurance companies thrives on premiums paid by insurance holders. So where the income of people are touched, the income of insurance companies are also touched.
Okay, with still the same COVID-19 pandemic, will losses occurring from the pandemic cautioned in any way by insurance company?
Well, I think that's where we should have it should be an eye-opener for all. You see, I don't look at the pandemic as all lost, but also an opportunity for us to see what we need to do that we've not been doing in the past. What I'm trying to pass across is this. With the pandemic, something come to light. The question every individual should ask himself or herself is, what happens to me if I get this pandemic? If there is loss of life. Now, those who have a category of insurance cover called life insurance, either individual life or group life or health insurance, they stand to have some certain of relief. Their families stand to get certain reliefs. If you have individual life insurance, if there is a loss of life as a result of pandemic, the insurance company comes in. Your family can go, your beneficiaries can go make claims from that insurance company that covers covers you. If you have health insurance, if you get this ailment, the company will come to bear, because so long as you are up to date with your premium payment. So it is a time that we should all start thinking of having certain form of insurance cover. For the pandemic, I think it's for those who have the insurance cover, life insurance cover, health insurance cover, they have no reason to fear. Nobody prays to die. But if it occurs, you have a cover. That's why the insurance is there.
Okay, the importance of this insurance is actually cannot be overemphasized. But a
cannot.
lot of people don't know the importance. Can you just expatiate the importance and the reason why people should actually go for this?
Well, of a truth, the importance of insurance cover cannot be overemphasized. But I think the insurance, NICOM, the regulatory agency, and insurance with various legitimate insurance companies still have a lot to do by way of orientation. A lot of people are not aware, and so much wrong have happened in the past where insurance companies try to be crafty by putting in certain clauses that will not be understood by holders, and when risk occur, they begin to throw those clauses as reasons why they cannot pay. So people have these notions that insurance companies don't pay. They cannot see the benefit. So, but if they can do a whole lot of orientation, that will help. But beyond orientation, there are certain general insurance cover that if they start doing well with them, people will get encouraged and want to know more about insurance. And for instance, every car owner in Nigeria is expected to have a third-party vehicle insurance. Now, that third-party vehicle insurance is supposed to cover you where you have an accident. If the holder is at fault, it is the insurance company that should fix the victim's car, and where there is injury, take care of the medical bill. But a lot of people carry this third-party insurance without even know what it means. We all carry it just believing that by way of escaping road safety and VIO. So there is no conscious move, and they are happy. Because since you don't know, when the risk occur, you are not going to them. But they don't know that they are doing much damage to the industry. If I'm to propose, it should be taken off VIO. They should just end at recommending the valid insurance company. Let individuals go themselves to this insurance company so that there will be that relationship. And from day one, you know that this thing is beyond avoiding arrest by VIO or road safety. It is for your benefit. And by the time one or two persons get that touch of insurance company, an insurance company coming to cover the loss occasioned by an accident, it will go around. People will begin to get conscious. They will have more people keying into it. And also they have to tackle the issue of fake insurance covers. By the time all these are taken care of, I think the awareness will also be increased. People will begin to see the benefit. More people will be interested in not getting not just that insurance cover of vehicle, but also other insurance. They need to restore confidence in the people.
Okay, talking about digitization right now, has insurance transaction in Nigeria evolved in this area?
Well, slowly evolving. The industry player, like I mentioned earlier, the industry players are not alive to the need of building confidence. They have opportunity of registering themselves. Judging our population, insurance industry should have grown beyond what it is. So being an evolving industry, I'm not happy with the slow pace things are going in this industry, and a lot lies on the industry players, the insurance companies and the regulatory, NICOM, the regulatory agency. They need to do much more than they are doing.
Okay, so what are the challenges exactly that this insurance industry actually passing through at the moment?
First, going around what I've said earlier, is apathy. Okay. People are not interested in getting it. Take for instance, each time a market burns, has a fire disaster, everybody in the market cries out, government come to our rescue, government come to our rescue. Whereas if that shop, store or business had been insured, you get fire insurance, two things happen. Where an insurance company gets high number of fire insurance holders, they will be forced to finance our firefighters. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because they are the first responder to fire, and they know the better they respond to fire, the less this burden of risk they will bear. So what over insurance company pay heavily to keep fire service in place. So if that occurs, the nation will gain two things. The fire service will be, the insurance companies will be interested in financing fire companies, their fire service, and two, the victims of such fire disaster will not need to cry to government because they know they have a cover. The insurance company will come in to better their loss.
So that means then the government have rules to play in terms of creating awareness for people to know the essence of these insurance companies.
Well, I won't say government per se. Government has done its own by setting up the requisite laws, even though the legislators need to look at our law, like the vehicle insurance law I talked about, is 1945 law. So many things in that law has gone archaic. The compensation, the penalties and all that, they no longer hold water. It's not something that can deter the bad eggs in the industry. So yes, government, to the extent that the legislative arm needs to do more by reviewing our laws. But as for the executive, they have set up NICOM, and NICOM is sitting up to its challenge, just that it needs to do more. For instance, NICOM was able to quickly set up a complaint bureau. That complaint bureau, over the years, I try to monitor the activities, and you see that they have been at the top of their game, trying to penalize insurance companies that are out to defraud insurance holders. And also another reform that came into being that is now helping is the fact that if a company fails to pay the insurance holder, the person can go complain to NICOM, and NICOM can withdraw from that insurance company's deposit with CBN directly and settle that loss. So you don't need to really go to court. Okay. You don't really need to go to court. You just go to NICOM, go to their complaint bureau, make your complaint, bring your claims with evidence and all that. By the time, if they are satisfied with your claims, they go to CBN and withdraw from them and penalize the company. So that has get insurance companies wake up, because if you leave it for litigation, things will not get right, because they know the case can be on up to Supreme Court. But with this reform, a lot of things, and we see the number of cases going down.
Okay, so what are your expectations from this insurance industry in Nigeria?
I have great expectation for the insurance industry in Nigeria. One, any nation that has half the population Nigeria has is standing at an advantage already. Like I said, insurance is just drawing a little from everyone to settle a few, because not everybody will have that risk at the same time. And also, the growth of insurance industry has so much to do for our economy. A whole lot of people stand to benefit because the insurance company is not only there to settle loss, they also invest. And in the chain of activity, you have the insurance insurer, you have the risk adjuster, you have insurance agents, you have a whole lot of people who gain employment. So if you talk about the employment benefit alone. Then you talk about the contribution to our GDP. Right now, it's a far cry. I think we're still below 4%. The insurance industry in Nigeria is still, I think, by my last check, is still below 4% contribution to our GDP. But by the time, if Nigeria can get it right by there are certain compulsory insurance, like the vehicle I talk about, like the construction insurance, which nobody cares about. There are other insurance, compulsory insurance that is already in place. The law has already put it in place, but it's not been implemented. By the time that is being carried out, a whole lot of people will come under the cover. The industry will have a lot of finance to do so much, and employment will increase.
Okay, what can you share about these private insurance companies? Because I know of one particularly that they're always coming to work every day and they just stay from morning to night without doing anything. What exactly would you say about that?
That's bad business. It's like somebody opening, or let me say your station are open and no news, no advert, nothing. It's bad business. See, it goes back to what I said earlier. They've got a lot to do.
Yeah.
When there is something, if an image is lost, it's very difficult to regain.
Yeah.
If integrity is lost, everything is lost. To be frank, the insurance industry in Nigeria quickly lost her image by the industry practitioners at the early stage. Not keen about what is going on there. So much happened. There are a lot of people that had this insurance cover, and by the time the risk occur, you hear stories or you are in court. So the appetite is so high. They need to begin with what they have. Like I said, if I am to own an insurance company, I won't joke with those who are under me for vehicle, because that's a quick way of touching people.
Okay.
It's a quick way of sending a message that, look, the game has changed. The situation is, so they have a whole lot. If you go into that office and sleeping, after a while the boss will sack you, because you need to go out and market. In other clients, people graduate and they pick their briefcase and they go sell insurance. It's a big business. You have your commission. So it is they need to train their people how to market insurance. If some persons come to me to market insurance, I laugh, because you're not telling me what you need to say. And by the time after talking, I'll start telling, look, I know this, I have my insurance and all that, but you can't sell insurance by saying what you are saying. Because I see them re-echoing the fear people have already. And also, for life insurance, for instance, if I have a 10 years life insurance, and 10 years come and I'm still alive,
okay,
be quick to pay me back my money, because the risks have not occurred. There are certain percentage of whatever I've contributed that belongs to the company. But let me know that I am entitled to this. Then you cannot let me know that I have the option of either withdrawing that or rolling it over. At least we'll be satisfied. But when the time occurs and there is no news of the person's death, they keep mum. Or when it occurs and the beneficiaries come for it, you begin to touch one or two clauses.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Felix Idachi. Let's just stick with